Hello, Rehan, and apparently fake Steve Jobs. Roshan figured that's the first insult we would hurl at him. And he is like, you know what? I'm going to wear my weakness as my armor. And he came up with it right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, I tried a couple of others. Like I tried Snicko because I miss things, right? I tried Mylapore Mama because, like, mentally, I think I'm there. But somehow
Oh,
the fake Steve Jobs does it for me with the gesture and everything. Like so, yeah.
yeah,
Let's go.
just fits. Boys,
Speaking of doing
mm,
things,
mm,
Yeah,
you know who does not do things? The Indian batters. Our batting lineup, number 1 to 6. Our
yeah,
batting lineup and bowling lineup starts from 8 below. Like at this point, you know how like all those English memes, like 20 for 2, Joe Root was like, ah shit, here we go again for the longest time. Like where they had Zach Crawley, Rory Burns opening. And then like Joe Root, day in, day out, he used to go bat and make hundreds. That's Bumrah. The thing is, he has to do it while batting and bowling. There was this press conference where some journalist called him a medium pace all rounder. Dear
yeah.
Lord,
Medium pacer. Yeah.
he was so offended at the medium pacer bit. We were like, at least be happy he called you a batter. Boy, did we not know he'd have to carry this batting lineup. I don't know what kind of back surgery he had. He's been carrying a, a nation, not even just 11 men on a field, a nation on his back. I want to know the name of his surgeon, and he should get every single business from today onwards. Everybody's business. My
Dude,
dear
for his
Lord.
sake, I hope he goes from like doing some stretching for his back and everything to doing some Kegel exercises or something like. I mean, seriously, right? So, but yeah, I mean, it feels like the top order is playing book cricket and every fourth page ends in a zero or something. Okay, I mean, it's just like it's crazy. Like, in Kannada we have a saying "Atakuntu lekkakilla," right? Which is like, yeah, you technically you're there, but then you're not there types, right? I mean, you don't matter, and that's what it's been. I mean, and
floating us, but
it's sad, it's funny, it's tragic, but yeah, I mean. Uh, I was just thinking, okay, I mean, who has the more horrendous shot selection in the second innings? Was it Rohit Sharma? Was it Pant? Was it Kohli? Or was it Jaiswal? Right? And I
I
know
think
we're
they're
diving
competing.
right into it. They're actually competing,
You know,
but
honestly, they
but
had
it
that
but
fielding
it's
medal
really
award
telling.
in 2023 World Cup. I think they're
Hmm.
doing like worst shot ever of the Test match of the series award, and like these guys are just going hard at it. I'm the one
No,
who's
no,
gonna win it. My shot was the worst.
it's really telling when Rohit Sharma has the least horrendous shot selection. Because I mean the guy. Okay, I mean he did play across the line and everything, but sure, I mean that is that, right? But Kohli again, like trying to drive something on the seventh or eighth stump, or Pant doing what he does, or Jaiswal going for a I don't know what he was trying to do with that ball, right? I mean send it out of stratosphere or something,
I
with
think
just
Kohli is
another
trying to
session to play.
replace our lexicon. Like it's no longer going to be carrot and a stick. Like he's trying to wipe away that saying from existence. It's like Kohli and the seventh stump. He's trying to
Hmm.
like update our lexicon instead of we shouldn't live in the past. Carrot and stick is so old generation. Let's go Kohli and seventh stump. He's trying his best to do that to us.
I mean, before this becomes like a whole rant or something. I mean, do you have any questions, Chris?
I'm just worried that
Yeah, look
I
at the
didn't get a
Australian
bomb.
fans just enjoying the meltdown, huh?
This is the stuff of dreams. Just put to
What
India.
is what? So, Rehan, what was the saddest moment of the match for you?
So that's it. You're not gonna actually ask me anything. We
No,
did
no, I
win a
think
test match.
you
You're
can
I'm
just
as
really
mute. It's
useful
hammered.
okay. You
as
can
Rohit
mute
Sharma
yourself
in
and
this
gloat.
batting lineup. You're as
Sorry?
useful as Rohit Sharma in this batting lineup. That's all I have
Did
to
you
say.
want me just for the credentials? So I'll let you in on the YouTube channel so you two
Pretty
can
much,
have a
yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, look, you won
Somebody
the
had to
match.
create the
Like, what
link.
else do you need to do, really? Yeah. So,
You're just here to do the grunt work, make the old ball, like make the new ball into, like take the shine off of it. Like the Usman Khawaja work, do the grunt work, let the others reap the rewards down there. If only the Indian team had somebody like that, my dear Lord.
Yeah, I mean, Harsha Bogle called it the circuit breaker, right? I mean, that is that if you lose a wicket, maybe a couple of wickets, who's the guy who's not going to give up on his and who's going to stay grounded and like, give you some time. But sadly, I mean, I think there is a difference between playing for runs and playing out time. And that is a very hard change to make for any batsman. But then especially for someone like, let's say, Rishabh Pant. And to answer my own question, I think the saddest moment in the match was Rishabh Pant getting out because he had done a lot of hard work. Okay, I mean, he had played 100 plus balls. I mean, the guy was looking reasonably okay. And I might even say that he looked better than Jaiswal, because Jaiswal, I think, what was it, 15, 20 balls he played and missed, right? And it was just his day that, he didn't get out earlier. Uh, but Pant looked good, and then I mean, it's like the scorpion and the frog story, right? I don't know if you guys know about this.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
too young for
it's
this.
We know
it's
the original, but I'm really keen to hear your version involving the Indian team.
so a scorpion
Uh,
is drowning. Okay,
Let me
kids.
guess, which one of that is D Pandey?
So Scorpion is drowning and it asks the frog to save him, okay? And the frog is like, dude, it's just gonna bite me and then we're both gonna drown. And the scorpion is like, no, dude, I'm already dying. I mean, why would I do that? I'll forever be grateful. Just like help me across the river. The frog, against his will, says, okay, you know what? Maybe let me just give this guy a chance, right? So the frog jumps in, the scorpion hops on the frog's back, and halfway through it, the scorpion bites the frog, right? And as the frog and the scorpion are both drowning, the scorpion's looking at this guy, and the frog looks at him and like, what the like, why? Why do this? And the scorpion has an even more helpless look on his face and he says, I can't help it. you know so natural instincts are really
Is
hard.
that Kohli with the
And
seven stump?
look, I
Sorry.
think with Kohli with the seven stump, I mean, to be really honest, I'll tell you what happens. Okay, I mean, like when you're out of form, and this is my Mylapur Mama wisdom. I think when you're out of form and when you're not like middling the ball and so on, when you're not picking up the line, perhaps you tend to try to hit the ball too hard. Okay, because especially when you see something like nice and like lobbed up, right
Juicy.
there for the hitting, you tend to hit the ball too hard, and in that endeavor, you sort of nick, or like you
Yeah.
don't you
I
don't
mean,
you don't hit it at
yeah, I mean,
where you
Guys,
want
to
it,
get
I
right?
think we should
So
to a
honestly retire the conversation and call that a fact. Kohli and the fifth stump or seventh stump, and move
I
on to
mean,
other
no,
points of
to
discussion
get to
that's
a
more relevant.
technical aspect of it, like Kohli doesn't really play the cut shot, right? So his like entire offside region, he does not play the cut, like so he does not play anything towards point. The only accessible shot for him is the cover drive.
but this is a
So
length ball,
he
no?
inevitably
This was
goes
a
for it.
length ball. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I meant like he needs his arsenal like updated. The 20 earlier this year, here earlier last year actually now, he had
Yeah,
that's
because all great suggestions involve the word Arsenal in it.
dear Lord.
Yeah,
He
I
This
goes
would
guess
to
have
the
you
killed
UK
play
and
the
becomes an English
killed
Premier
in
play
my
League
some
football
flute or
stream.
something.
Pam, pam, pam.
Yeah.
Wrong stream,
yeah,
guys.
he was still playing the cut shots, etc. A little bit. He has never really been historically a big cutter or a puller. While he can play the shot, which we saw earlier in South Africa, he really needs to bring it in to his arsenal. Dear Lord, do not bring it up again. And if he wants to survive in Australia, and more importantly, drop him. Yeah, sorry, Chris, you were saying?
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
he's
use
also
that
a
as a
naturally
segue to
front-footed
okay.
player, I think. Right? I mean,
In a,
even
in
though,
a
yeah.
there is a
Okay,
saying
go on,
in
go on.
Tamil, Roshan, because
Mm.
you invoked your Canadian rights. I'm gonna do the same with my Tamilian rights. The
Mm.
saying goes,
Kannadiga.
I'm in the UK now. That's how I'm supposed to call it. Anyway, so
Wow.
it's called Setanai Mele Etana Vati Vandi Ethuva. That means how many times are you going to talk about the same issue that is
Disturbing on
beaten
many
to you?
levels. Like, why you want a 1D eighth on a Satanai in the first place is like a question you have to contemplate.
Hey, I didn't come
If
up with this name.
if we're going for sayings in regional language, I'd like to invoke another Tamil saying, uh, வாயில வடை சுடுறது. So Gautam Gambhir, with all his bravado statements, has done nothing. His role as a head coach, my dear Lord, who picks three all-rounders? What
That's
was
not true. He has created a rift that we haven't seen since the days of Ganguly,
Greg Chappell?
and
Oh
he's
no,
gonna get.
Skinny Mama.
Dude,
He's
I
gonna.
look, as much as it is like fashionable to dunk on Gambhir. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I was just listening to his press conference also. The guy sounded actually reasonable, you know. So, you know, I mean, he did sound reasonable and everything. And
Those
look, it's
aren't
a
two words
lot
I've ever
easier.
heard together.
It's a lot easier to remain underappreciated and underrated than to be overexposed and faulted, right? I mean, because you're going to come up short. And Gambhir, the lore of Gambhir has been building since the 2011 World Cup final, right? I mean, that he is the guy who's a stalwart and this and that, all of these memes and reels and stuff like that. So people's expectation of Gambhir and his performance was definitely going to fall short of things. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he handled that press conference reasonably well. I mean, given all of the rumors, that Indian Express article, and so on and so forth, right? I mean, I think he did okay. He did okay. And look, essentially, Rohit has been like quote unquote rested, right? So I think that
Is
was
that official?
whoever
I
caused
don't
that
think it
is.
is yet.
It, oh, okay,
I
not
think it's
official, but I
official.
don't think so.
I did. I mean, he didn't say that, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, the
I
fact that
saw a
you're
couple of
non-committal
different
about your
quotes.
captain, that kind of seals the deal.
Dude,
So
we
I'm
are
gonna
always
use
committed.
this.
Like our captain leads from the front in spirit, right? Bumrah all the way. So
Moral
Yeah,
victories. Come on,
yeah,
yeah.
Bazball.
It's ironic how the last time when Australia changed captains, the dancing that the Indian fans and the rest of the world did, all the controversy and the dark clouds around it, does come around. Huh? How does it feel to see your captain on an overseas tour get axed right before the deciding test? Not gonna look
that shows nothing is more
better on.
important than winning. And one would say that was like a
Aussie
uniquely Australian
mentality.
attribute, some years ago, until they like went all soft and like snowflake, you know, like I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I
Making
think
reels
what
about the
Travis
opponent's
said
team
does
and
to
like going
India
on record
fans.
and saying that Bumrah is the fastest and most fearsome bowler and stuff like that. Like, why?
It's called.
I know it gets you
Yeah,
YouTube engagement, but still, I don't think that's the Aussie spirit anyway, right? So,
yeah. There are other words that begin with R other than your name, Roshan, and one of that is called respect. Look it up. We have a lot of that for the Indian team. Oh my
yeah,
god!
after
And
So
this
having
bad.
beaten India
Gandalf.
the last couple of times, you better, right? I mean, respect is very
That was
close to
so
fear
bad.
also. Yeah, terrible actually.
This is so. This is what you do. You invite an Australia fan, completely sideline the fact that Australia won
But
the test
you know
match.
what? After all of this India moaning and some Australia bashing, I have to eat my words. The last time I was on this stream, I did mention that you know I had like not so flattering words to use about Boland, but I'll tell you, man. I mean, the guy is good. Like the guy is good. I'm very sorry. I think I was like completely wrong about it, right? He is the ideal third or fourth bowler. He's the ideal one change, two change bowler that you need on your side. Doesn't give anything away. Bowls line and length, can move the ball both ways, can bounce it. He's too good, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I
the
have
headline
to
is
agree with
going
my
to
friend
be
Sai on this.
incredible.
So,
With
He's your perfect
uh,
line
yeah,
bowler, and
yeah,
no
yeah. No,
nobody is
and to
doubting
be
his
honest,
credentials at the G.
no, I mean, I did. And to be honest, I did think that, like the first change or second change bowler, maybe he was not as strong. And, someone like, I don't know, even Jaiswal could kind of take him on. But then, I mean, he's changed my mind. He's really changed my mind with his performance this match. I think the Aussie bowlers
this is
need a lot of credit for sure. I mean, I
yeah,
think the last match, I think it was poor batting that did us in. This time it was poor batting plus really good bowling. Really good bowling and captaincy also. Let me extend that a
In
little further
in
and say that
thank
that was
you.
phenomenal captaincy.
Mm.
Yeah.
In other news, man discovers that Earth is in fact not flat but actually round. Who nobody ever doubted Bolan except you. You looked
I doubted him.
ridiculous while you were making that statement,
I doubted
regardless of
Boland.
how
Dude, he's a
exactly. It's like
look. I hate line and length guys. I hate like guys who are just like boring, fucking, put one kerchief there, bowl it on that spot all day, all like why? I can replace you with a bowling machine. But then you know what? Boland actually showed variety, I mean, he pulled it back a little bit, got the ball to bounce, right? So he did have a few variations, right? And it was good. It was good. Like excellent
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say this, but this, seeing it in action is something else. Old age does get to you, Rehan. Something that we
So,
should be mindful of.
I mean,
But I'm
if
gonna
you
As
take a
like
couple
the
you,
of
I still
youngest
minutes.
have a
person
good
on the
15
squad, I
years to get
mean,
to it.
Yeah, let's all talk at the same time.
yeah, go on.
So,
No, go on. I was just
yeah,
shitting on
now
Chris,
I'm
and
done
I
with you
still have a
people.
15 years to get there.
We have had 15 minutes on the podcast, and I still haven't heard the name Steve Smiths,
Hmm.
who scored a.
As he found his hands again. I
Yeah,
don't think
I
so.
mean, according to Rehan, by the way, this was off the screen. Not so good Steve Smith innings. Not one of his best performances, but good enough to get him 140 runs. The Australia team itself looked incredibly solid. And even before the test match, I maintained the only weakness was Mitchell Marsh. Thankfully, despite his close to nothing contributions, the 10 of
The no
us
rounder.
were good enough. No, no, exactly. The 10 of us were actually good enough to get through the
They
line,
probably realized that
get over the line.
Marnus Labuschagne can do a better job bowling than Mitchell Marsh, actually. That's what they realized, you know?
That's true. I don't want to get into the Australian nepotism because I'm still hoping to take this podcast to Australia one day. So,
No, but then good for you. They have officially announced that Mitchell Marsh will be
yeah,
sitting out for the next X. Bo Webster comes in. Really
yeah,
good off the back of a
and
really good Shield
mm,
season. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's true. One of the
yeah.
best, in fact.
A
And
tall
first wicket,
seamer.
Kohli.
Yeah, a tall seamer on his debut. What
It's
could go wrong with India? Like, really? Has that ever happened? Hmm.
that resume is gonna look good, guys. For Webster. Lot of positives. I really can't nitpick. And actually, I have to credit Pat Cummins because we have all been critical of his captaincy. He has been accused of being too defensive. I came
No,
here after the Perth test,
I
and
still would say that he was defensive. He got lucky, I would say, because Rishabh Pant, it was a brain fade moment, the release shot. People say his natural game, natural instincts take a, it's,
I
but
mean,
it's
he
not like,
placed the fielder exactly and
No,
made
no,
sure his bowler could
but he
bowl.
didn't play the fielder, right? He
no,
didn't,
the boundary is too big, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's
like,
one of those
he has,
boundaries,
he has
like,
more shots than you think. He has a
no, no,
very
he
good
does,
difference,
obviously,
which we saw.
of
Yeah.
course.
So
But
it's
I
not
think
like
that
a
pull,
Kohli who can't
especially,
play the cut shot and he's searching for it. He didn't,
man, this man
like,
has something
he tried
against
to.
Kohli for sure.
And but
Yeah.
no, like Rishabh, he's too good a batter to be getting out like that. It's not a release shot. You don't need release shots in Test cricket like that. Uh,
I think
it was really shoddy. And
he hit
Jaiswal,
it at the far end of the boundary. That's it. Like, I mean, this perhaps in any other ground, it would probably be at the boundary rope or whatever. I mean, it'll be interesting
yeah.
to
And
see how
if
far
my
it did go.
grandma was a whistle,
Yeah,
she would
dude,
be
we've
my
all heard
cooker.
that. I thought you were going to say if your
uh,
grandma had wheels, she'd be
had,
like a bicycle
Yeah,
or something. So anyway,
got you there. This
we
is
were
a new
all on
one
Facebook
I'm
a few
trying
years
out.
ago.
but I
We were
really
all on
feel sorry
Facebook
for
a
the
few
guy.
years ago.
I mean, I think like look of all the people who applied some real restraint, right? I think Pant did, you know, apply some real
Give it away.
restraint,
And
right? I mean,
even Jaiswal, to be honest, Jaiswal has had an attitude issue like a few years back when he was playing for Mumbai, when Rahane sent him off the field because he was sledging despite like his say so. like just be quiet, be quiet.
I
Rahane just
thought we
sent him
all
back to the dressing room.
unanimously agreed that it was an attitude issue on the part of Rahane, but sure, this is Indian cricket, so you know better.
Wait,
He's a
Rahane
kid,
sending
man. I
Yashwal
mean,
back to
come on, he's excited about it. That's it. I mean,
you,
like,
but you don't go and try to hit your short leg fielder or silly point fielder when you're trying to bat for a draw. You need better game awareness than that, though.
yeah, that was pretty ridiculous actually. And I
Yeah,
mean,
I
he was swinging and
hearing
missing,
Sam
swinging and
Constas, he
missing.
probably
Yeah,
deserved it, but
yeah, that was pretty
okay.
Who,
ridiculous.
who had
That
who had who on earth had Sam Constas being mentioned for the first time at the 20th minute mark? This is Sports Entertainment Weekly. I'm your victim being hijacked
There,
by fake Steve Jobs
so
as
much has
Rehan Shah.
happened. So much has happened at the turn of the new year with the Indian team drama. We forgot
yeah.
a Bumrah onslaught. We like the Bumrah onslaught seemed
Bumrah,
so
Steve Smith.
yesterday.
Look, let him do it another couple of times, and then I'll really hand it to him. Okay, I mean, otherwise, even a broken clock is like correct twice. So
Yeah,
I
even
mean,
Chris
it
confirmed
was
good times
ballsy
at
for
the moment.
sure, right? I mean, for an opening
Yeah,
batsman to do that, it's certainly ballsy. But look how well Bumrah came back, right? I mean, that ball
Yeah,
was unplayable. The
absolutely.
one that he got in the second innings. Uh, Foof. I mean, what do you do with something like that, man? That pitch is like short almost, and then like doesn't.
he was an in swinger.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that it didn't like bounce as much. I mean, it kind of like skidded, right? I mean, it's a very uncanny ability that he has to kind of skid the ball through, and it cut, right? It cut enough that there was like a 2-3 inch gap between the bat and the ball, right? So phenomenal stuff. Amazing stuff. Yeah, in
Meanwhile, there
case you
is
guys
Pat
didn't realize,
Cummins
I'm like
watching
a
from.
Bumrah fan. So yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pat Cummins did the same to KL Rahul, by the way.
Oh, Pat Cummins, he produces those magic
that was a
memories
that
day
was
in,
a
day out. He's
brilliant ball.
been,
That was a brilliant
yeah,
ball. Yeah, I mean, like I think KL, if I'm being really honest, I mean, got a rough hand on both the innings, right?
yeah.
The first innings was completely unplayable, right? The second was again like pretty damn good, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe Jadeja in the second innings got something like close to that, like little bit of an unplayable ball. Not unplayable, I mean a difficult ball, but yeah, KL
He
just
was
had a
caught. Yeah,
very
he was caught on the crease more than anything.
who
Jadeja.
Yeah, but also it's a kind of ball that you don't know what to do, right? I mean, you want to play it, but then it's like it's bouncing like a foot and a half more than you expected. What do you do with that? Like you can't. You just hope like hell that you play with some soft hands, it drops and like nothing happens. You live to fight another day, right? I mean, otherwise it's just like yeah, it's one of those things. It's very difficult. I think Kohli got a similar ball. He played it quite well actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on to the Sydney
for what
Test.
it's worth.
Pink ball,
Yeah.
Rohit.
You're on mute, Chris. Boomer moment, but yeah.
So I'm gonna move on to the fifth Test. Sydney pink ball. You still are mathematically looking to get into the WTC finals. With Rohit Sharma out, potentially Gill coming back in or Rana coming back, how would you rate your chances going into the game?
Wait, is
I've
it a
just
pink ball test?
yeah, it is.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, did not know it.
Yeah, I know. Even I was surprised. I'm like, oh, nice. You're getting two freebies. Huh? Okay, you
I
actually
knew it
made
was a
me.
pink test.
Roshan is looking it up.
Yeah.
Jamie,
No,
can
no,
you
no.
figure out if this is the pink ball test? Roshan is
No, no,
smirking,
I'm just like being like a
watching Instagram reels.
worker drone and like replying to Slack messages as we chat.
Wow.
Sydney pink ball test. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
If
I knew it was a
if
pink
you're
test. I
used,
didn't know it was a pink ball test, though.
oh yeah. So they do it for the McGrath Foundation, and
Yeah.
every time that's the case in Sydney. It's the pink ball. It's the pink test.
Okay.
The surprise
Yeah.
was
Great cause.
getting two of them. Mm,
Yeah. Great
uh,
cause. Love it. Love that Australia's already done it, and love the fact that like even this test match, doffing your hat, oh Shane Warne.
Hmm.
Uh,
yeah.
again, love that. Maybe he's a little much finished.
But what does it mean for
But
the
yeah,
team?
all the drama is here. The pink ball test. I think we could see uh, we could finally see another seamer coming in. Hopefully, I don't know. Sydney, you
Yeah.
might get to play it. You know, for years, like we speak, Sydney is the relatively better place for India to play, and yet we haven't won there in like 40 something years. We've come really close. We've come really close, and like yet it's been washed out. Australia had some like brilliant moments in it tonight as a win, but we've come really close. And again, like Steve Smith averages 100 there, Mana's averages 90 there, Uzi Khawaja averages a 90 there. Like, yeah, it's flat. Hopefully, the pink ball is gonna like bring life into the game.
Hmm.
Siraj, Akashdeep, Bumrah, Akashdeep.
Akashdeep
Finally,
is
He's
out.
some
not
mean
there.
reversion.
Prasidh is going to play.
He's ruled out.
Yeah.
Akashdeep is
Oh my
out.
God.
Prasidh
Gen Z,
is
where do
going
you
to
get
play.
your news? Internet Explorer. I'm more up to date on your team than you.
Yeah.
Rehan checks
So
notes, throws 4 pages of notes that he had on Akashdeep.
Damn it. Okay, but that dude deserves some mean reversion though. He drew more false shots than Bumrah and has 5 wickets to his name.
Yeah,
Imagine.
actually, really unlucky.
sometimes it's
He
the
looked.
universe's way of telling you to go like practice harder and come back another day.
Is this a reference to somebody else? I don't get this.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, think about it.
Okay.
But this Prasidh guy looks interesting. I haven't watched too much of his bowling and whatnot. I just saw a couple of his wickets and whatnot. I mean, seems like a tall guy who can get the ball to bounce. Clearly, you guys
He he's a
know
proper
now
hit the
that
deck
I love
bowler.
people who
It's
He's
a
not really a
non-descript
Caribbean.
description. An IPL mainstay and all Roshan has to say about Prasidh Krishna. Yeah, I think
Red
he's a
ball,
tall
white
guy.
ball are two different formats. But no, he had a decent A game. He took a bunch of wickets there. He played the South Africa test. Kind of wavered with her lines. Uh, but yeah, he is your hit the deck bowler. He's not really your swing bowler. He doesn't swing it both ways. He can seam it a little bit. It's a punt India is taking. Let's see if it comes off or not. Uh, I think if Akashdeep is not there, we might play two spinners again, Washi and Jadeja purely for their batting ability.
Okay. Speaking of Australia, if I have
Who?
the permission to do so, um, I think we are looking good, especially with WTC finals on the line.
With Mitch
3-1
Marsh.
looks very solid, especially especially after all the off the field turmoil that has somehow become synonymous with Indian cricket. So weird. You've never seen it like
Like,
this.
I mean, okay, honestly, my 2 cents in the entire thing, I had tweeted this a while back as well. Like, it doesn't matter. Every dressing room has so much drama. Like, the whole Indian team episode, what is happening, it's very similar to what Justin Langer, the coach and the captain, completely disagreeing. There have been dressing room picking sides. Actually, in Justin Langer's case, it was like one against everybody. But the dressing room completely rifted apart. All of that is fine with me. The one line you have to draw is like whatever happens in the dressing room stays in the dressing room. Though there is a sort of camaraderie, there is a sort of like sanctity attached towards it, and these leagues are just like very poor.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's actually, yeah, it's not tasteful at all, and it has become a pattern of late. The way Virat was phased out, it was less than 2 years ago,
yeah.
and that had a similarly sour flavor to it. And considering the careers that the likes of Kohli and Rohit have had, and how much service that they have given to this team, be it them or
Absolutely.
Ravi Ashwin, they all deserve to walk away with their heads held high.
No, at this
The,
point, because of all of this, Ashwin's retirement out of the blue just feels like a domino like effect.
yeah, it just
And
feels like he's
no,
one
but
of those
I
whistleblower guys who
you
realized what
can't
was
but
going on. And,
speculate.
yeah,
contrary to let's say opinion, right? I mean, like mass opinion. I really feel that Kohli has more cricket in him for sure, right? And also, it's an excellent chance for him to sort of go back, maybe play a few Ranji matches, club county cricket, etc., whatever it is, like work on his stuff and get back. I think he can get back and sort of prove that nobody is kind of bigger than the game. Although, I mean, I'm very less optimistic about that
I
really
think
Yeah.
he's too
happening
old
as
for
well,
that
The
now.
right?
modern format and
I
the
think for
media
his
frenzy
test
doesn't
game,
allow you to do that.
yeah. I think for his
No, I
test game,
mean,
he's
you
too
can
old for
still
that.
like you can choose
One
what
day
you
is
want. See,
absolutely.
the thing is that I feel like I mean, he's already a legend of the game, right? I mean, the guy should at least choose his way out rather than be forced out. I mean, that's what I feel as a fan, right? So, yeah, I mean, cause for introspection for sure, right? I mean, after the series, um, I think, yeah, either way, I think India will win because it is like if we lose this match and lose the series 3-1, then we definitely have some thinking to do, and hopefully it'll like we'll expedite all of the stuff that we've been waiting on, right? And if we win this match, I mean, we retain the Border Gavaskar trophy, right? So either way, it's a win for us, I think.
How is if we win the match? How is it a win for you? You lose the series, you lose the BGT, you lose two of your most prolific batters. I think this has crossed the point of hope, and we are headed into delusion territory now.
Dude, I mean, I was an Indian cricket fan in the 90s. I mean, this is what got
I
us
like how
through
he speaks in the
stuff. I
past
mean,
tense.
look at that. Like Sanat Jayasuriya, Saeed Anwar, frickin' like even Aravinda Disala belting you. I mean, this is what you had. Like you just had hope and optimism, right, to carry you through. I mean, we didn't have a
Now we
Bumrah
have
in our team,
Bumrah.
you know? Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Enough to give hope, but certainly not enough to inspire confidence. With those words flicked off some Twitter account, credit to whoever came up with that first. We have to sign off. Thank you. I called it the MCG review
but
and SCG
hang on. I
preview.
think like if
Yeah,
you think
of
about
course.
the
Let's stay
batting
on
lineup,
brand
right? I
and
mean,
continue. Hijack.
I would really like to rejig things on the batting lineup. Maybe Reddy should go up to I don't know with KL perhaps at 3. Then Reddy should perhaps bat
Maybe
at
opening.
I don't know 5 at least. I think like not go all the way down. Right. I mean, for sure. Yeah, the guy definitely deserves it for sure. So
I
this
don't
is
think
with
so. As in,
Rohit
I
out of
mean,
the team.
no argument that he deserves it. But given Punt's, let's say, unpredictability, Nitish is such a steady hand, and he's the perfect complementary energy to what Pant
But
brings
Pant
to
may
the
be
game.
out,
And
right? They're saying Dhruv
why?
Joral might play.
Oh,
So
no way. He's
Drop the coach and the entire lineup if they
yeah.
drop Pant
Look,
before
absolutely it's
Kohli.
on the clock.
I'm a Pant fan as well, for sure, right? I think he's like a fantastic player, but then yeah, I don't know.
Are you just trying to stir things up at this point?
No,
Is
I do
this your
like
way of
Nitish at
dealing with
five.
the loss?
I do like Nitish at 5 for another reason. Pant can come in against a relatively older ball and he can do his
Yeah,
magic
and he can
because
just
his
play
entry
his
points
natural
have
game.
been really high. His
Don't
entry
get
points
it.
have
If
been
Nitish
really
does a good
early.
job, Pant ends up facing the new ball again.
The
No,
second new ball is still
I don't
from a
think it's
better
new ball
platform.
versus old ball or anything, but I think like I would love to see Pant bat when there are a few more runs on the board. I mean, the guy has come in at like critical situations all the time, right? And he's had to sort of reinvent his game and everything, which I feel like I mean
How about
he has it
fixing
in him.
your top order instead of moving your middle order batsman to the top just
Look,
so there
if
is more
you
runs?
so hang on. I mean, if it's Jaiswal has played well. KL, if you ignore last match, I mean, where we clearly discussed that he had a rough hand. I mean, he has played well,
Best batter
right?
of the series.
You remove Kohli and Rohit, right? I mean, one of them is going to sit out, right? So you remove one of them, then you have like Reddy, right? And then you have Pant. Again, Pant is like He's been getting in form. I mean, he seems like the kind of guy who's gotten a bunch of starts. I mean, he's up for a big score in Sydney right now. I think I'll stick my neck out and say if Pant plays, he's going to like smash it, right? So that's Pant. Jadeja looked good as well, right? Except for that unplayable ball that he got, or near unplayable ball that he got. So I think it's a fixable problem. See, it's hard to play with two less batsmen. That I'll tell you that, right? I mean, it's really hard, and it's gotten to a point where we're picking our bowlers based on how well they can bat, right? I mean, so it's a desperate situation right now. But I hope, I mean, it's fixable. So yeah.
All right, that is it from this edition of Indian Fans Hijack My Podcast. Reporting live from Sports Entertainment Weekly headquarters. Thank you, people, for if
All
you
right,
stuck
guys.
around this long, including that
Cheers.
delusional rant from fake Steve Jobs. I apologize on behalf of the channel more than anything.
India
Thank
for
you.
the win. India for the win all the way. Pant's gonna get big. He's gonna smash, brother.